We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Hey, everybody. Episode 13 of Vikings Uncensored is here. I'm Rhino. He's Lance. And we are having to do a little bit of re-record here because we tried recording episode 13 on Sunday the 13th. And
hey, but guess what?
Shit
worked in our favor.
Yeah, but shit just went all to hell. I was trying a new sound setup and it made me sound like Jimmy off of South Park, and
maybe you should put a good clip of that in there from the original taping.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll do that or not, but anyway, it worked out real well for us because now it's Tuesday afternoon and we've got a ton more news to go over. Some real
big hit the proverbial fan yesterday.
Oh yeah, between Monday and this morning, which would be Tuesday morning, the Vikings went out and blew up.
Meant to be, dude.
Blew up everything. So great for us, great for the show, great for you guys.
It definitely is great for the show because we would have hit the airwaves Friday with none of this.
Right, but now we've got it all for you. So
yep, it was meant to be today.
Yep. So the technical difficulties proved out to be a blessing in disguise here, but
it did. God, what a day yesterday.
Yeah. But we'll dive into that here in just a couple of minutes. But first, we'll knock off there's a couple other minor NFL news things that popped up here in the last few days. The first one was former Chiefs, Jets, and Steelers running back Le'Veon Bell came out and made a statement saying that he will never play for Andy Reid again, and he would retire first before playing for him again.
And now he's trying to backtrack a little bit.
Yeah, he came out and said, yeah, I meant what he said, but he said he wished he hadn't said it in public or whatever. And Mike, this is honestly the first person I've ever heard say they don't like Andy Reid.
I heard Mathau and Bell were going back and forth a little bit of it there too, a little bit, which was kind of funny.
Yeah.
He's like, Mathau was like, I'm just built different. And Bell was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. But
it was silly.
You know, basically what it amounts to is Bell was pissed off that he didn't get any playing time because he was behind Clyde Edwards-Helaire
who is a very good back.
Right. And then
in my opinion, a good up and comer here.
Right. And then was it Darrell Williams or
Darren Williams, or something like that.
Yeah, they're number two back. So no, Darrell Williams is for the Chiefs. He's like the backup running back.
Okay,
so,
yep.
You know, Bell was third on the depth chart, so didn't see a whole lot of playing time. And
he might as well have been retired the last 2 years, anyways. Yeah, what the fuck has he done?
He really could have just as well gave it up after he held out that year with the Steelers because he hasn't been worth a crap since then.
No.
Hey, Gilmore, you suck, you jackass. Why don't you shut the hell up?
No,
but you know,
could have, would have, should have.
Yeah, and don't care because he's not a Viking and we're not signing him. It was something that was interesting. I thought.
Why we never did.
Yeah. So we figured we'd bring that up, but then of course last week that team from Wisconsin had their mandatory mini camp, and to nobody's real surprise, Aaron Rodgers did not show up. Oh, darn.
Oh.
And then now a couple weeks ago, Packers CEO Mark Murphy came out and said, the less that's said about this whole situation in public, the better. But yet then he turns around and he's unsolicited, throwing out stuff out a couple different times now, like here this past weekend, he said, he brought up that former Packers GM Ted Thompson, who's since passed on this
Right,
spring,
right.
you know, he said, oh yeah, Ted Thompson always used to say that Aaron Rodgers was a complicated fella. And then now everybody in the fucking media is just losing their mind. How dare you say something like that about Aaron Rodgers? Oh my God.
You know what, though? There's a reason why you don't ever hear Rick talk like that. You know, Rick just blows a lot of wind, but he's not very stupid, you know. I mean, you just don't, you don't say stuff like that either.
But, you know, I think when it boils down to it, I'm pretty sure Murphy knows that Rodgers isn't coming back. So I
think we may have seen Rodgers last game in a Packers jersey, to be honest with you.
I think so. I would almost bet on that as well. I mean, but you know, when stuff like this is coming out, to me, it's more posturing about the Packers are painting Rodgers in the bad light so that the fan base, you know, they're trying
to save face. They're trying to save face.
Right. And then I saw something yesterday. Rodgers was on some podcast or TV show. Whatever. I didn't even see where it was, but he was wearing a shirt that said, "I'm offended" across the front of it. Didn't, you know, never mentioned anything about the shirt, but I just saw a picture of it on Twitter this morning.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, I think the whole situation's funny. It's
hilarious. I mean, it's a raging dumpster fire.
Yeah, it's a wildfire over there in Wisconsin.
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently. That's okay. Things are going to be okay.
In Wisconsin, you know, on the Packers are trying, you know, everything's fine. Nothing's wrong. We've got Jordan Love, who first day of mandatory mini camp made,
by all accounts, looks like shit.
Yeah, made Spurgeon Wynn look like a all-pro. And then the second day, he had a lot better day. And then all of a sudden, you've got people like Colin Cowherd and a few other people who are ready to, and then also Jordan Love actually spoke to the public. He's never allowed that before. And Colin Cowherd was on his shows like, Jordan Love looked fantastic in the second day, and he came out and he talked, and he looked good behind the microphone. So basically, he's fitting him for his gold jacket already.
Right. I figured Cowherd would say something like that.
And I mean, I understand Cowherd says crap like that for shock value to get views and whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't really hold.
I'm not a bit. I can't. You know, he kind of drives me bonkers.
Yeah. No,
it's not my type of show.
No, I don't. I catch him because he's on, or they have him on from 1 to 3 on Bison 1660, the local NDSU channel. So I flip in there every once in a while just to hear some of the stuff he spews. Now, like I said, I don't hold Colin in that high regard. Now his co-host Joy Taylor, as our buddy Drew Bunting would say, meow meow. She's
very good looking.
Yeah, she's a very attractive looking gal. So, but anyway, we'll move off of that one. But so now up to the Vikings part of things. Of course, mandatory minicamp. As we're recording on Tuesday now, the first practice has already been held. It goes again Wednesday and Thursday. Prior to minicamp, Kirk Cousins had said in an interview that he actually went back and watched his entire career over the off season.
Now, here's another case where it's one of those things where, should he have said that? Because,
well, I mean, and maybe he's done this, but
does this guy not watch tape?
It's just, maybe it's the context of how he said it when he said should have expounded on it or something. But
right.
Did he not go back, after every year that he's played and watch back?
I mean, as me, if I was a professional player, I would go back at least, if not game by game, which I would hope most players do.
Right.
At least every single year, go back and watch the previous year of yourself play to see where you can, build on, So,
and
I don't know, Kirk.
With somebody who's as anal as Kirk, I mean, the guy who puts a rock in a tube every day of his life, and I still don't understand that thing, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah. But, I
don't understand a lot about Kirk.
No, I don't either. But, and there again, that probably much ado about nothing, but it was something that was brought up. So
I heard he's a great guy. If that's all great. That's all great. He's a great guy.
I mean,
fantastic,
and
awesome. I could be a friend too, but
I've heard that, and I've heard he's fake as hell. So I don't know which one it is. Maybe a little bit of both.
depends on how good he is at pulling it off, I guess.
Right. So, but here again, we're not going to dive into Kirk Cousins and
Yeah.
when we don't have to, because it's really been, that horse has been beat to death so bad you got to identify it with dental records. So, but anyway, we'll move on to the big news now. So we've got and when the first one came across yesterday, we thought, how can this get any better? But the first item, Danielle Hunter is back, ladies and gentlemen.
On 3rd and 7, deep drop for the Vikings. Pressure coming. Rodgers slammed at the 40 by Danielle Hunter.
He's back with a restructured contract. With a restructured contract, which moved up $5.6 million into a signing bonus this year, which actually lowered his cap hit, and then turns around, and on the 5th day of the 2022 league year, he has an $18 million roster bonus due. So basically works well for both sides here. Hunter gets more money up front this year, which is what he was looking for.
He kicks that can down the road, but in a better way. And everybody's happy. Right.
And by that time, the Vikings will know, is Danielle Hunter back to the old Danielle Hunter, or is he a shell of himself because of the neck injury?
Yep. And they'll know where the cap's going to be sitting at. So, I mean, it works out favorable for all parties.
Yep. So Danielle is at least happier. And
I don't know what's going on there in that front office, but they got to have like Einstein's brain in a jar somewhere. And it's just this offseason is just.
No, they have Rob Brzezinski, who is like Harry Potter level wizardry when it comes to the salary cap.
You are awesome. You're like the secret ingredient in the noodle soup of people. You're the backflip kick of humanity. Others may talk the talk and walk the walk, but you're too busy blowing minds and stopping crimes. Your awesomeness, it shines too bright, but I just can't help but look. You are a lone soldier on the battlefield of awe, igniting the flaming torch of awesome for all to see. I could keep going. Should I?
Whatever they're paying Brzezinski, it's probably not enough. This guy should have a lifetime contract that continues to pay his children after he dies. Because without Brzezinski, we would be in a hurt bag around here.
A lot of clubs would be, a lot of clubs are.
Yeah. But I mean, Brzezinski's, in my opinion, is the best cap guy in the NFL, and it's not even close.
Yeah. Yep.
So anyway, after Vikings fans were rejoicing in the return of Danielle Hunter, a little more news came out that the band is continuing to be put back together as the Vikings were in discussions to bring back one Sheldon Richardson.
I liked it. I like it. Just when you could think it could get better, it does.
Right. So, I was talking yesterday that they were in discussions and it wasn't final, but the deal was close. Then come this morning, both Danielle Hunter and Sheldon Richardson are
in the house.
Are at minicamp practice. Sheldon Richardson signed a 1-year deal with a base salary of $3.6 million, and I believe it can go up to like 4.5 with incentives and escalators.
Right.
So basically, and then we still have around $12 million on the salary cap hit. So we still have money. Basically, what they did. How
the fuck are we doing this?
Basically, what they did by restructuring Hunter and switching that stuff around, we paid for Richardson. So we brought 2 guys in for basically the price of 1 right now. And we still have, if somebody comes up, once they hit the cuts during training camp or whatever that we think can help us or something like that, we still got money to do something.
It's pretty nuts. Like, I honestly went to the offseason not expecting much of anything as far as splashes. Now we've had a couple of them.
It's not splashes here. We rolled a fucking boulder off the cliff into the water. And
it's been nice. It's been nice.
fat guy cannonballing into a kiddie pool kind of thing.
Zim and Rick definitely they deserve a pat on the back for this one.
Well,
all of them. You know, they had a hell of a off season.
Yeah, and the thing with this now, you know, last year we had every excuse under the sun as to why, you know, the team faltered and didn't make the playoffs and everything else. This year, there's no excuses.
There are zero excuses this year, fellas.
Nope. The No Excuses Tour 2021 bus is pulling up outside. We're already on it. Anybody else who wants to get on it, hop on, because if this team does not make a serious push for a Super Bowl, then it's time to clean house.
Get on the bus here. Move it. Get up there, Kyle. 1, 2, 5, 7. Move it or lose it. Get on the bus. Hi, Miss Vaughn. Nice to see you.
Yeah. Yep, I agree.
So, and then, but we weren't done. After just about an hour or so before we started recording here, I was looking on, and Kellen Mond has also signed his deal today.
Right.
So now he's officially in the fold.
4-year deal, I believe.
Yep, 4-year deal, $5.223 million total salary. He'll count roughly
under the $1 million mark for the cap against the cap.
He'll count $950,000 against the cap this year, or just under 950. It's like 948, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But so now he's in the fold, and he started practicing again today. Now, at least in the first practice, Mond was like running third string quarterback. Jake Browning right now is the number 2. You know,
I don't see that. I think that's just
honestly, right now, I'm fine with this right now.
Right.
You know,
Why rush the kid?
Browning's been around here for a couple of years. He knows the system.
No need to rush Mond.
Yeah.
Let him kind of get a feel for it. You know,
Right. You know,
they got Kirk for a reason. So
right now, if we go through training camp and Mond hasn't made that ascension to 2, or Browning looks like crap, then we got issues. But
the fact that Kirk is actually taking, well, as far as he's saying, he's letting, he's taking Mond under his wing and kind of guiding him and helping him become a better professional. And
yeah,
he's in the game. So
and that's the thing, how we handled this situation, bringing Mond and stuff compared to what that team from
exactly,
Wisconsin
it's night and day.
It's night and day difference, and you see what happens, with how things work out. Plus, granted, Kirk Cousins isn't the vindictive dick that Aaron Rodgers is. Aaron Rodgers disowned his family, hasn't talked to him in 3 years because they pissed him off. It's about for some reason,
right?
But anyway, a couple other notes. That was the one big note, and then one that probably has a few people losing their minds over this.
I'm freaking out, man. You are freaking out, man.
Is that the starting offensive line for the first day of minicamp again had Rashad Hill at left tackle, Ezra Cleveland at left guard, Bradbury at center, Dakota Dozier at right guard, and then Brian O'Neill, at the right tackle. And people are going to look at this and like, what the hell, blah, 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 blah. Again, the guys they're going to make these guys earn their spot. They're not just going to hand it to them. We all know that
they got Davis on first string now, taking first string reps. Yeah.
Davis.
White Davis is taking first string reps right now.
Was he taking some?
He is. He is. That was big news.
Because I saw Judd Zulgad had put out a post on stuff he was at the first practice, and he said Dakota Dozier was running most of the time with the ones.
Not anymore. Oh, today?
Yeah, today he was. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, the other day I had, who knows? I had heard.
Yeah,
that
it
Davis was
it bounces back and forth. I mean, we all know that Dakota Dozier's a solid number 2.
I don't even think he's a solid number 2. I know what you're getting at there.
Yeah,
silly man.
I was come on. I make a poop joke and you don't
I know, dude.
go
Went
with it. Come
right
on,
the fuck
dude.
over my head there, man.
Work with me here, damn it.
He is a piece of shit.
Yeah, so I guess
fucking Dozier.
Yeah. Honestly, Dakota Dozier better not be on the 53 man when the season starts, because there's going to be a temptation to use him if he's there. And no.
I think Samia gets it before Dozier does. I mean, as far as like gets the cut, but I don't know. I don't run the team.
Tape dispenser should get it over Dakota Dozier.
Yeah, you're right.
At least that's useful.
With all this influx of new talent coming in, we're going to likely see the last of a few players, in my opinion, the Holmes of, defense and possibly Herc.
You're Hercules, Mataafa.
Yeah, I have a feeling that unfortunately, but that's how it should be. That's how we run a business. The best players stay in the week. It's not even a week. The ones that don't rise up are the ones that got to go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we already, we had brought in a punter as an unrestricted free agent, Zach von Rosenberg, who, but they cut him this morning to make room for Sheldon Richardson, because we were at the 90 player limit already. But, and of course, if Zimmer can get rid of a kicker / punter, he's going to do it,
Well, Richardson's a little bit more established than this guy.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I don't even know how old is Richardson. He's got to be getting.
He's 30. I looked yesterday. He's 30.
Oh, he's only 30.
Yeah. So I mean, and this is the thing. I like the Sheldon Richardson signing over the Geno Atkins thing, because Atkins is already 32, pushing 33,
and that puts that to rest too. Then hopefully,
right. And Atkins had 4.5 sacks the last 2 years. Richardson had like 14 or 14.5, something like
Richardson that. had played better for the Browns than what he did when he was here, in my opinion.
And one thing that surprised me, I didn't realize this.
Here we go. Yep.
That Sheldon Richardson actually played like 290 snaps, somewhere in that general vicinity,
off the edge
as an edge rusher last year. So
if he can do it at that weight, he got some speed for that size though. I did notice that while he was here.
Yeah, I mean, and you think 290 some snaps, that's the equivalent of a couple of
it's no different than taking B-Rob and popping him in at tackle every once in a while like we used to do.
So this hopefully fits in with Zimmer being able to move things around, like he did in that game against the Saints in the playoffs a couple years ago with the NASCAR package type stuff.
Honestly, Zimmer's going to have a lot of toys to play with.
Well, that's like I said, brought in before. Zimmer's got no excuses this year. The only real weak spots I see on the team right now, at least on paper, we're still not sure what's going on at right end, but we've got options there now, and we've got the young guys. We've got Weatherly.
I'd rather have options than not have anything.
Right.
Actual options.
And and then offensive line is still on paper only. We haven't seen what they should be better with Wyatt Davis and Darisaw, but until we see him play, we really don't know. And then the other thing, of course, that's plagued the Vikings forever is freaking kickers.
Yeah, it's been that way for the better half of 25 years now, I'd say.
Yeah, and I see
outside of Ryan Longwell, which wasn't even our own kicker anyways. So it's not no disrespect to Ryan Longwell, but
no, I'd take Ryan Longwell in his prime over it right now in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or even Ryan Longwell as he was when he was here. He was a little bit past his prime, but
yeah, but he was still nailing for us. I had confidence with Longwell.
Yeah, and I see that was one of the players that was not at day one of minicamp today was our undrafted free agent kicker, that Riley Patterson. So
he wasn't there, huh?
No, he wasn't there today, according to Courtney Cronin.
Okay.
So that's not a good way to, we all know how Zimmer loves kickers to begin with, so that's not probably the best way to start endearing himself to the coach right now. And I don't know why he wasn't there. I'm guessing he probably had some kind of excused absence or something, but
Probably.
Zimmer would get rid of all of it, get rid of the kickers and punters and everything else if he possibly could, and I made this comment on the Gallerhorn page that you and I are a part of, that don't rule this hot, spicy takeout. Zimmer is going to completely get rid of all the punters, keep Zach Davidson
I
as the
hope he
tight end
does.
3, and also use him as the punter, because he was a punter that converted.
This would be genius. This would be genius. But then you got to make sure that he doesn't get injured is the thing.
Well, right, but I mean, and I'm just throwing that out there to be a smartass more than anything.
I would like that, honestly.
But honestly, I wouldn't rule it out, knowing how Mike Zimmer thinks.
It'd save a rush spot. Open one.
Yeah, so he
open up something for somebody else.
He keep another one of our 32 cornerbacks or another defensive lineman or something. So I'm not gonna, say, like I did with the Trey Lance thing, mark my words on it.
Yeah, right. That's not something you can really stand behind.
But if it does come to fruition, I'm going to bring it back up again.
Right. I said it.
Exactly. So anyway, that's about everything we got with the news. We do have a couple of viewer questions this week that we're going to hit. We've got one from our buddy Chuck Falconeri.
These are really good. I like these.
And then another one from our buddy Drew Bunting from the Vikings Report with Drew and Ted.
You can always ask questions. We'll take them.
Yep.
Especially in this next month where it's going to be kind of dead. Put some questions down below in the comments, or just hit up Ryan or I.
Yep.
And
hit the Twitter, hit the Facebook, whatever. Let us know if you want us to cover something on the show. We'll take care of it.
Absolutely.
But so the first question again from Chuck, he asked us. He said, if we had indeed been able to trade up toward the 8 or 9 spot, would we have wanted to do that and take Justin Fields, or are we happier doing what we did, staying where we were, trading back, able to get Darisaw and Kellen Mond and so on and so forth? I'll let you hit this one first, Lance.
In my opinion, it's kind of hard. It's a skepticism question, because what happened, and I'm happy with what happened, but by all accounts, Justin Fields is looking the part over there in Chicago.
Yeah.
So
granted, they're not going to come out and say right now that, Justin Fields looks like ass, but
right. Of course. But at this point, I am really happy with how the dice fell, or, how the chips fell for Rick. I think he pulled off a draft of the ages, if you ask me. This is going to be a special one. Yeah. I'm happy with what we did.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you. If we had moved up and got Fields, we obviously wouldn't have gotten Darisaw. There were some guys in that.
I think all of our bases are covered.
Second and third round that we maybe could have got. Whether they'll be as good or not, there again, we don't know. I guess the $1 million question is going to, and we won't know this for a couple of years, is Justin Fields going to be a franchise level quarterback that's going to be a pain in our ass for the next 10 to 15 years?
A lot plays into that.
Or, and if he is Kellen Mond also going to be that level of a quarterback? Because if they come out on an equal footing, then it's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Or, if Fields is up here and Mond is down here, it's obvious, or the other way around, and so it's a really hard question to give a definite answer to.
Well, Mond has more experience behind the, just college level play.
Well, and he's playing in the SEC and gets SEC player and stuff too. But so right now, I guess I would say I'm happy with how we handled it, what we got.
Yeah, I am as well.
What we would have had to give up to get Fields, and then in turn, we'd
right. And then you got possibly Rashad Hill starting at left tackle for you to start the year. I mean, do you really want that happening?
Yeah, and Dakota Dozier starting at guard, possibly. Which again, nobody wants to see that.
No, so I am. Things happened the way they were supposed to, I believe.
I think so. So I think that's we'll see what happens. Time will tell. But I think I'm for right now anyway, I'm happy with how it turned out. So
yeah.
All right, so question number 2 again comes from our buddy Drew, and he said, if you and I were to purchase the Vikings at the end of the season, next February, what would our first order of business be? As new
I'll let you
owners?
go ahead and take this one,
All
bud.
right. I mean, honestly, I think the first order of business would be getting somebody in here as head coach who has he's with the times, I guess, as far as offensive philosophy and everything and that kind of stuff, like a Eric Bieniemy.
I would ask Zim to take a demotion to defensive coordinator.
I don't think he would.
I don't think he would either, but I would ask him. I would have the balls to ask him if he would do that.
Yeah. I mean, if Zimmer just wanted to be a defensive, which really the way he acts, that's all he wants to be anyway. He loves having the title of head coach, but he hates having to deal with the offense and everything else. If Zimmer wanted to just be a defensive coordinator, I'd be more than happy keeping.
I would ask him before I'd boot him out the door. I'd say, hey, if you want to stick around and be our defensive coordinator, that's fine by me, but I'm looking for somebody else to lead the ship.
Yeah.
As far as calling the shots.
Right. And if you want to give him that title of, assistant head coach or whatever, blah, 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 fine. But
I don't see Zim biting down the bullet and taking that. So I don't
either. And also there would be a problem.
I'd be seeing him going to Dallas. He'd be packing his bags and going to Dallas.
There'd be a potential problem too with, Zim's guys versus, causing that schism in the locker room where they're following what Zimmer's saying and not what the new head coach is saying.
That's true too. Yeah.
Realistically, I think it would be better. It would be better to make a clean break and just wash your hands of the whole situation. Because you can find a good defensive coordinator. Granted, Zimmer is a really good defensive coordinator. We're not faulting him for that, on that at all. We all know what he can do with defense. It's just his philosophy on the offense and basically his disdain for having to deal with that kind of stuff. He knows what he wants, but he doesn't want to deal with it. And then, so he leaves it alone until it's not doing exactly what he wants it to do. Then he,
Right.
So I guess I would make the move on from Mike Zimmer, unless by some stroke of genius we win the Super Bowl this year or something. That would be awful hard to fire.
Then you can't. You can't just fire somebody that just won you the Super Bowl.
No. So
I would have him on a short leash, though. That's for sure.
That would be the only way I would keep Zimmer, I guess, would be if they were to win the Super Bowl in 21. Now, other than that, we'd have to sit down and take a look at Spielman.
I think he saved himself with this draft.
If this draft turns out like we think it does, I think he bought himself at least another year. Beyond that, definitely we'd sit down. We need to figure out what the hell we're going to do with Cousins.
Get this cap under control. That'd be one of my top priorities as well.
Because next year Cousins is going to have a cap hit of $45 million, and he's already basically said he has no interest in doing any kind of restructuring.
I'd be taking phone calls.
Yep. And if the cap goes to the ceiling that they set of 208 million or whatever it is, Cousins with that contract is going to be taking up 21.6% of the cap by himself.
Right. And ideally you only want your quarterback taking up between, I would say 15 to 19% ish at the highest.
Well, no team has ever won a Super Bowl with their quarterback taking over 17% of the cap.
Right.
So ideally, you're in
that's a telling number right there too.
Yeah,
if you ask
ideally
me.
You're in that 15%. Now, if we move on from Kirk, you've got Kellen Mond, who, like we said, is making just under $1 million a year. That opens, if we were to trade Cousins, we have to eat the $10 million, for the guaranteed stuff, but we'd clear 35 mil off the cap.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, it'd be worth it.
So, and we've got a lot of guys that we brought in this year that were on 1 year deal. That 35 million, that makes Hunter happy for a long time. That makes Brian O'Neill happy for a long time. That allows us to start looking at, Anthony Barr is going to be a free agent after this year.
Right. And they're talking to the hitman about, negotiating a new contract with him as well. And I think that's going to be kind of like the Greenway type of deal where we kind of hopefully he plays here until the end of his career and we could say he can ride off into the sunset, and
right.
I think if we win the Super Bowl, we bring him a trophy. I think that is that, this is going to be the situation.
Yeah.
If not, I guess time will tell.
Right. But I guess that's what I do anyway. If I was part owner of this team, so,
I definitely see what we had in mind.
Yeah, we're not, so we don't make the decisions, but if we could run the team for a day or two, that's what we bring up. So, all right, so we'll move on from that now. And
good questions, guys.
Yeah, keep the questions coming. We love answering questions and make us think a little bit here, and come up with our opinions on it anyway. But
especially in this dead period, by the way.
Yep. So moving on next, we've got another classic beer commercial that I hope you guys are going to like here. So give this a watch, and we'll be back on the flip side.
All right.
Flip that way. One of the flips.
No more finger pointing.
Finger guns.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, you got a spare room?
Yeah, you can stay. But keep your hands to yourself.
We're back.
We're back.
We are back again. Hope you guys liked the beer commercial.
Always good. Always good.
Thought that was a pretty cool one. So now we're going to move on. We had a request for a Where Are They Now this week, and I think the person kind of tried to punk us a little bit on this one.
Oh, I totally think so, which was a good one because
yeah. I mean, when I saw the question come up, I already knew. I already knew where the person was.
Yeah, I didn't realize how bad it was, but so we were gonna do Chris Hovan this week on Where Are They Now? Charmander, Charizard dude that had requested it, and he's in jail, and
looks like a serial killer.
He's a pretty frightening looking motherfucker right now. So
yeah,
Chris, if you're out there, find Jesus.
Yeah, don't find us, find Jesus.
Right, yeah. Don't find us, find Jesus, man. For sure. You look pretty rough.
If you're looking for us, my name is Brett Jones.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm telling you, I gotta get a Brett Jones jersey.
Yeah.
Shit. So since we don't have a Where Are They Now this week, we're gonna do a Did You Know?
Yep. And this week's Did You Know, we're gonna go to this dude here.
The big-time players need to help this guy out. Roy Williams, Calvin Johnson, two of their biggest players.
3rd and 10. Here comes Jared Allen, and he's out of bounds. Poor guy, I don't even know if he realized it. And that's a safety.
Well, so much for me calling him savvy because he had no idea where he's on the field. Tough situation, but you just can't do that. You have to realize, and you can see him, he didn't even know he was out of bounds. Tough situation for a young quarterback. But you always got to be aware, Ron, of the situation where you are.
Came to get crunk, came to bring life, came to get it started, came to get it right. Turn down the music, turn up my mic. I'm
demanding this league can be. Pressure from Allen, and down goes Rodgers. Jared Allen. Bad shoulder and all. And the second safety of this first half for Minnesota. These are some of the things that Aaron Rodgers should already know. I mean, when you're getting pressure down there in your own end of the field, and now you're in the end zone. I mean, I think he felt the pressure by Jared Allen, and you just know you've got to somehow get that ball out.
If you can see, did you know that one defensive end, Jared Allen, is tied for the NFL career record in safeties with 4.
4.
And also top 4 safeties, and also there's 4 people that have 4 in their career.
That's pretty nuts.
Yeah, the other 3 are Doug English, who played from 1975 to 85 with
Doug English
with the Motor City Kitties. Ted Hendricks, who played from 1969 to 1983 with the
Goofy
Baltimore
bastard.
Colts, that team from Wisconsin, and the Raiders.
Curly-haired goofy bastard.
Yeah, and then the other one is somebody who's currently a free agent, still technically in the NFL. One, Justin Houston, who's started in 2011 until now. He's played for Kansas City and Indy.
Right. There was a quiet rumbling about Houston, but after this Sheldon Richardson signing, I don't see it. You would.
Yeah, I mean, we still have money if we want to.
We're gonna have like 50 corners and 50 defensive linemen on our roster.
Right. So Jared Allen, who of course played from 2004 to 2015 with 4 different teams, Kansas City, the Vikings, of course, then on to
he was
Carolina
also
and Chicago.
drafted as a long snapper.
Yes.
By Kansas City.
And
so did you know that? But now you do.
Yes. And so, well, he actually played long snapper in a couple emergency situations.
Yes,
for us.
He did.
And interestingly, all 4 of his safeties came while he was with the Vikings. He had 2 of them in 2008.
2 of them against Rodgers.
Yeah, one of the 08 and 09, he had one each year against Rodgers. And then, of course, the other one in 2008 was the famous Dan Orlovsky running.
It's so great. He's like, and Jared's like laughing the whole fucking time. He's chasing
he just
him,
takes
pointing
the
in there.
snap, takes the snap and looks over and sees Jared Allen running at him full speed. He's like, "I'm out," and runs out the back of the end zone.
There's a reason that's only happened once in our generation. You know, the quarterback sees him and runs right out the back of the end zone.
Yep. Nope, not doing it. And then his 4th one was again in 2011 against the Denver Broncos. He tackled running back Willis McGahee in the end zone for safety.
Yep.
Now I couldn't find McGahee in the the clip to show you guys. You saw the other 3, but I couldn't find the McGahee one. So sorry. But we got to see Rodgers get sacked.
It's 2021. Twice, so. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently, it wasn't important enough for somebody to put a clip up there. So
disappeared apparently.
Yeah, but anyway. So yeah, I mean, of course, we had when we got Jared Allen in here. We got him from Kansas City. He kind of worn
lots of question marks around his personality and his behavior.
He kind of worn out his welcome a little bit down there because he had alcohol problems and everything, and then decided to turn his life around. He quit.
He did. You know what, Jared?
And everything else.
Good for you, man. You did a commendable job while you were here. Mm-hmm. I can respect the shit out of you for it because, man, you behaved. You took your job seriously. You came here and you got it done.
Yep. And I mean, Allen's one of my top 3-4 favorite players of all time when he came in here. I mean,
great guy.
Gotta love the guy, how he played. Had the freaking mullet and.
And you know what? He stayed true to himself the entire time he played.
Plus, he had a pretty sweet sack celebration. He did the calf roping thing. And
yep.
Here comes Allen. Picked up by Grant. There's a safety, almost. Instead, the ball comes out. Jared Allen again gets it done for the Vikings.
They made the whole rule that you couldn't go down on your knee after celebrating.
Yep. So then he kept his knee about that far off the ground when he did it, just so that
Jared was really like, even though this guy sucked, Jared was he did suck, but Jared was like our generation's Mark Gaston now, pretty much. The way he would, just celebrate.
Kind of a little wild and flamboyant kind of guy.
Yeah.
I remember that one time Fox NFL or whatever it was had an interview with him. It was around Christmas time, and they come in there and he's sitting in the chair
sweater,
wearing this ugly ass Christmas sweater, and with the big mullet and everything else hanging out there, and they asked him,
how can you not like the guy?
Well, I actually asked him about the mullet at one point in time. It's like, well, deep down, all chicks dig the mullet, so I'm keeping it,
Right.
But then, every time when they had, like on Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, when they had the players announce, when they run through the starting lineups, he went to, wasn't it Boise State or someplace out there?
It was some bum fucking Egypt.
Yeah,
college.
I apologize for not remembering what it is right now, but he'd always say when they, they say the college, it was the Culinary Institute.
Yeah. Yep.
So, he was quite a character and quite a player, and we're happy.
I was happy we got him.
We're happy he was with us.
He definitely lived up to his first round status when we went and traded for a first rounder for him. He definitely lived up to it.
Yep, it was definitely a
he didn't Herschel Walker our ass.
Yeah, we don't need any more of those. So, but anyway, that's really about all we got this week. Okay, want to thank everybody for watching. If you're on the road during the summertime on your road trips or whatever, remember, we also have audio versions of the podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Again, our regular shows every Friday night at 6. We usually put out a preview on Wednesdays, and we throw a few more things out. If you check our page, we've got the shout out from Aaron Henderson is now on there as its own standalone video. So just want to thank everybody. Another reminder, tomorrow morning, Saturday, 10 a.m., check out the Vikings Report with Drew and Ted. You guys, if you like our show, or even you don't like our show, you're going to love their show. These guys, they're hilarious. They do
absolutely
bunch of they talk about, they do a lot of old school stuff, but then they do a lot of trivia and stuff like that and games at the end. It's a great time. Really suggest you guys take a look at those guys and check them out. Beyond that, hit that subscribe button and the little bell so whenever we put out videos. The subscribers really help us build this page. We're trying to get the brand built up here.
Right.
Stick with us.
Stick
with us, because once the season rolls around, you guys are in for a treat. And with that, why don't you take us out of here, Lance?
All right, guys. Thanks again for coming this week. We appreciate having you here. Appreciate having every single one of you here. Tell your friends, tell your friends' friends, tell your friends' friends to come to get their Vikings news from VU. Also, I would like to do a shout out to the Vikings Central fan page. You got Kristen and Josh over there who are the admins, great guys. Thanks for letting me plug my shit there. Thanks for letting me share some Vikings news. I appreciate you guys so much. Anybody want to keep in touch with us? We have a page on Facebook, which I am very active with every single day. I check it out. The Vikings podcast, Vikings Uncensored podcast on Facebook.
We're also on
Instagram, TikTok.
We're now on TikTok, and of course, also on Twitter. So we've got a lot of places you can check us out.
Keep coming back.
Keep coming back. Like I said,
best is yet to come. It's gonna be a fun ride, guys.
Yep. So stay tuned. We got more for you. We'll be back next week with episode 14. And with that, we will see you guys later.
We'll see you later.